welcome everyone to another edition of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Abel.
And this is Travis.
And we don't have Randy again. We'll see her next week, I believe.
Yeah.
But, man, we had a pretty crazy weekend, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, full of lots of wrestling.
Yeah.
Lots of important wrestling.
You think something happened this weekend?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that went down, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of important things.
I would say so. Well, it is the road to WrestleMania.
Officially? Is it officially the road to WrestleMania?
If it's not, they fucked that up. You know?
Yeah. No, it is. It is. That being said, we're going to talk about Royal Rumble.
Right.
Then we're going to talk about Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably Impact and some indie stuff.
Okay.
We're not going to even bother talking about main event from this past week or SmackDown from this past week. We'll probably be talking about main event next week because the Intercontinental Cup.
Man, I was so excited when I saw that little thing come up on the bottom of the screen last week when it said, next week, Intercontinental Cup.
Yes.
What?
I'd like to see how that's structured. I wonder if that's going to be like just a tournament and they're calling it the Cup, or it's going to be some sort of...
I mentioned this, when main event was still relatively new, and I said, main event's got its own show.
It's got its own flavor.
Yeah, it's like, it keeps storylines separate from Raw and SmackDown, and for the most part.
Yeah, I wouldn't say completely separate. But
well, not completely, but, they can't keep completely separate. But for the most part, they try to keep feuds on a one-week basis on main event.
Yeah.
So, I guess this is going to be like a tournament just on main event. So I have to wait once a week for progression on that?
Yeah.
So...
But what I'm wondering, is it going to be just like a regular bracketed tournament? Or is it going to be like some sort of round-robin thing or a point system or something? Because they're not calling it an Intercontinental Tournament. They're calling it an Intercontinental Cup.
Right.
So I wonder how that's going to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to see about that. So.
But now that we've talked a couple of minutes about main event, we're not talking about main event this week, so...
Starting now.
Yes, starting now. Okay.
So, Raw got beat up on SmackDown.
No, let's not talk about SmackDown.
You said you weren't talking about that. We're talking about...
I know. We gotta stay on schedule, because, man, we got a lot to go through. Alright, let's start off by...
Schedule.
Yeah, who cares about schedule? Let's talk about the Royal Rumble. One of the big four.
Yeah.
Last week we said, hey, it's the biggest show of the... Second biggest show of the year. Yeah. I love the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I always do. It's one of my favorites. I love the Rumble match itself. I love, starting the season going into the road to WrestleMania. I always think it's just, a great show.
I like this. Yeah. I like this the pay-per-view itself, the Rumble match. There's been exceptions down the road. There's certain bad Royal Rumble matches. But for the most part, the pay-per-view itself, and it's just the fact that it starts off the road to WrestleMania. And you have to start watching. If you don't watch it for the whole year, you have to start watching it in January.
Right.
When Royal Rumble comes around.
Yeah.
Because that's going to lead up everything to the big show.
The big show? The
big show.
Well, that sounds like a great transition. Let's talk about the big show.
I did that on purpose.
Thank you. Lobbing me softballs over here.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. This year's Royal Rumble started off with the Big Show and Alberto Del Rio in a second Last Man Standing match.
Now, you've gone on record several times you can't stand Last Man Standing matches.
I see what you did there.
No. Well, okay, pun intended.
Pun
sure.
intended?
Yes.
Retroactively pun intended?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what did you think?
I said that the first Last Man Standing between Del Rio and Show was good. And I was surprised, because I don't normally like Last Man Standings. This match at the Rumble, I thought it wasn't as good as the one, on SmackDown a couple weeks back. But I still think it was decent, I think it was par for the course. It was what I could have expected. I do find it a little strange that in a feud, we've had the first match in a feud be Last Man Standing, and the second match in the feud being Last Man Standing. Like, that just seems...
Right.
Out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And going along with the actual feud itself, I think, I'm not sure, I could be wrong, has the booking creative department, did they forget if Del Rio is a face or a heel? Because when he won the championship, he did it by defying the odds, even though he was getting his ass whooped by Big Show. And then he found a way to kind of, work in his favor, on winning the title. Now, a week later, not even, a week later on the rematch here, First of all, he's getting beat down worse than last time.
Yeah.
And he has to cheat. He's a face.
But he has to cheat.
He has to cheat to win.
Well, I noticed that.
Yeah.
And I tweeted about it. I basically said, wow, he's channeling his inner Eddie. He's cheating to win. Yeah. And Eddie was a face. Lie, cheat, steal. He was a face.
But it works for him because Eddie had that charisma where he could pull that off.
Yeah. But I think that's what they're trying to replicate. I don't think it's that creative forgot that he's a face or whatever. I think they're trying to...
No, that's my way of perceiving it.
Well, I know. And I'm disagreeing with you. I don't think that's the case. I think, creative or they know
they're trying something.
They're trying something. They're trying to recapture that whole. I don't want to say it was just the Latino people.
They want him to be the second coming of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, the second coming of Eddie. Getting the Latino fan base all riled up and supporting them, and then.
Well, if they wanted to do that, they would have shoved all that down our throats.
Well, they are shoving it down our throats.
I haven't noticed.
Yes. I believe that's what they call sarcasm there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Mm.
Okay, but...
I haven't mastered that one yet. No, but there's one thing that the commentator said during the match, and I don't know if you caught this or not, but going along the same lines as, cramming on the, his heritage and all this other stuff down our throats, left and right, they said that Del Rio wants to start doing more lucha-style wrestling moves.
Really? They said that?
And they said that as he was doing that top rope, that little move that Ray normally does.
Oh, the sit-down...
Yeah.
Seated senton.
Yeah, off the top rope onto the...
Yeah.
He did that move right
I saw that.
Yeah, he did that move. As they're saying that, that's when they said he wants to do more of a lucha style. Because he's Mexican.
Right.
Get it?
Yeah. I understand. They're really trying to play up all these stereotypes.
If you can't get that, he's wearing red, white, and green tights.
Right.
And his manager has the green
bow tie. Yeah. All that being said, I don't mind the fact that it was Ricardo that, did the tying up with the duct tape on the Big Show. Because I think Ricardo can pull that off better than Del Rio. I think Del Rio would seem more heelish doing that than Ricardo. Like with Ricardo, it's like, oh, clever Ricardo. He's so funny. I think he has more of that charisma to do it than Del Rio does. And
he's more of the second coming of Eddie than Del Rio is. Okay.
Yeah. Not saying he is the second coming of Eddie.
Oh, hell no.
I'm saying he's closer to it.
Hell no. Yeah, but out of the two?
Out of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say. Yeah. Like, he's able to channel that, oh, I'm being cute and funny, but I'm cheating to win type of sentiment. Like, he's doing that better.
Yeah.
So, I bought it, basically.
So you like the ending?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. And we've seen duct tape before in Last Man Standing matches.
I was going to say, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw that, and I was like, oh, really? They're doing that?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it before.
I guess if anything goes in a Last Man Standing match, and you have a roll of duct tape, and you have the opportunity to duct tape your opponent down so they can't get up, yeah, I guess, why not?
Hey, man, duct tape fixes everything.
Let's say.
Yeah.
Can't duck it.
Alright, so... Overall, I think that match was okay. All right,
I'll say that. Yeah, it's okay.
It was okay. You say it was okay, and I'm saying, man, it was okay. So
you're seeing the positive side of the okay. I'm seeing the negative.
Yeah. Side of the okay. Well, maybe we should use a little bit different terminology. I thought it was decent, and you thought it was decent. Average, below average.
It was okay. How about it? It was just there.
Okay.
I'm neutral to the whole match. How about that?
Okay, because you're not Mexican.
You would have higher stakes in the match.
I guess so. I would care more about it. All right, let's move on to the next match on the card.
All right,
Team Hell No versus Team Rhodes Scholars. That was another one that I kind of felt was kind of par for the course.
I was kind of surprised. I was expecting the other out. I was expecting a different outcome. Right?
I agree with you. I was expecting Rhodes Scholars to win the match, but I thought the match itself was kind of par for the course. I don't think it was spectacular. I don't think it was bad. It was a good warm up, I guess, to the rest of the pay-per-view. Just the way kind of Del Rio and Show was. That wasn't like the main attractions. Either one of those matches. It was enough to kind of round out the card. And it's sad that you have to say that about World Heavyweight and Tag Team Championship matches, but hey, we're talking about the Royal Rumble, where the Royal Rumble only has about 3 or 4 matches as is.
I think the reason why those 2 matches were kind of neutral, I mean, kind of okay, average,
Yeah.
was because they figured the Rumble and the Rock and Punk match was going to be the talking points for everything.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to, if Rhodes Scholar won the titles, they didn't want that to be lost in the shuffle between everybody talking about the Rumble match and the title match. That's just my thought.
Well, I did think that, talking about the booking of the match, not the quality of the match, I thought that this would be the beginning of the end of Team Hell No.
Right.
Like, if Hell No lost the titles,
I agree.
They would start bickering with each other and all that. Like, I thought that's what was going to happen.
Kind of, we saw that on Raw.
Yeah.
A little bit. And I was expecting that on the pay-per-view.
Well, we saw that a little bit in the Rumble match itself.
Yes.
Well, okay, before we get to the Rumble match itself, is there anything that we want to say about this tag team match?
No, it was just there. I mean, nothing happened. I mean, the titles didn't change. Nothing happened with Hell No. Rhodes Scholars is kind of there, so...
The match itself, the in-ring work was solid.
Well, yeah.
There was nothing
there. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it was nothing like, oh my god, spot of the night type of thing that happened in there. It was solid. So
I did mention, I texted to you about, after D-Bride did the Mexican surfboard.
That's true.
I said how long before Del Rio steals that from him?
Yeah, that's true.
Because he wants to do more lucha style.
Yeah. And I mark out for Mexican surfboard. I really do. I love that move.
See, if Del Rio did that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if Del Rio did that, I would like it. But not because it's the Mexican surfboard. I just like the move. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so then let's get into the Rumble match itself. You mentioned a little bit earlier that some Rumble matches have been not as good as others. How would you compare this Rumble match, the 26th Rumble match, to the 25 other Rumble matches that have been out there?
All the other ones?
Well, maybe not.
Okay, I don't know if I can do that, but how much time we have? I really enjoyed this Rumble match.
Okay.
There was a lot of, surprises.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't feel to me like all the surprises were just kind of blow-off entries. Some of them were, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were still good blow-off surprises. There was nothing like, oh, really, this guy? It felt like a waste. Maybe for 3B. But that's just me. But,
well, I can think of 2 others that were like that were like blow-off, like, this guy. I can think of 2 others.
Okay.
Otunga.
Right.
Like, this guy, Otunga?
Yeah.
Really? And Sin Cara.
Yeah. Remember 29 spot for Sin Cara?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, getting there, like, when we were about, like, 26, 25,
you start thinking you start...
Yeah, we're like, okay, we haven't seen him,
Yeah.
Okay, well, we still got Ryback to go, we still got, this, like, we kept counting on our fingers and like, okay, we're missing this guy, and then...
Nobody says anything.
Who else, like... We thought, okay, well, this is when Lesnar or when Shelton Benjamin or when, some of these other people that were rumored to be in there, that's when we're going to have another surprise entrant. But it was like Sin Cara, like, there we go. Well, I guess Ryback's going to be 30. So like Sin Cara was like very disappointing. And 1, the fact it was Sin Cara.
Right.
And 2, his placement.
Yeah.
Number 29 is like,
you think they would have put him up lower in the card for 2 reasons. 1 for that, and secondly, so they could hit something with him and Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, and well, let's go on. As far as the Rumble match itself.
Okay.
Some of the highlights for me was the highlight reel, Y2J,
yes.
Jericho returning. I was not expecting that.
No.
Typically about a week before a big pay-per-view, especially like Rumble or WrestleMania, I try to stay away from message boards and news sites, just because I don't want to be,
spoiled.
I don't want to be spoiled about anything. And I don't know if any of these surprises were actual surprises if you're reading the message boards or anything. I was surprised. I did not expect that, and that was a pleasant surprise for Jericho to come back. And what'd you think of that one?
To that point, whereas you're avoiding wrestling sites and all that on purpose, I did the same thing, but not on purpose. Like, kind of like by accident. Lately, ever since we've been doing the podcast, I've been reading wrestling websites and whatnot less and less. and it's not like a conscious thing. It's like, I'm too busy messing with our own stuff than to go out and read, PW Torch and Lords of Pain or whatever, and, keep all that stuff up. And, it hasn't, like I said, it's not a purposeful thing, but I think I've been more pleasantly surprised at things because of that. So, I agree with you. I was very surprised by Jericho. Like, I wasn't expecting Jericho at all, so that was like, mind blown.
I'm just a sucker for element of surprise.
Yeah.
I don't like to be spoiled. That's why I'll never read SmackDown spoilers.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I want to see it as it happens.
Yeah.
So, that's that. So, I was happy to see Jericho.
Yeah, I was very, very, very happy.
I was even more happy to see that he was back on Raw the next night.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Raw. That's not.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I was thinking maybe this was like a one night thing for him. Yeah. Another one, Goldust.
Yes.
And not because it was just Goldust, but he went straight for Cody, and they were going at it. Oh man, I was loving that.
The whole time that they were both in the ring, they kept going back to each other.
Yes.
Like, they left and, like, wrestled with some other dudes a little bit.
Yeah, it's because it's a normal match.
But they just kept going back and going back. And, Cody did that thing where he drops down on his back and slaps him.
Well, he took that from Goldust.
He took that from him, and, Goldust did it back to him. And
the whole thing was his goal. No pun intended. But, the thing about that one is, I was just digging the fact that they were fighting each other, because we all know it's their brothers, whatever.
Yeah.
But the commentators were saying that Goldust has been tweeting about his dislike for Cody, his attitude since he's been with Sandow, and so there's kind of a lead into that. But that's just like a bonus, I guess.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I didn't know that, and it was a big surprise because, like we just said, I've been
avoiding I didn't know that either.
But I haven't been avoiding Twitter, and sometimes I'll get spoilers through Twitter or whatever, but I have not been following Goldust. Like, I followed him for a little while, but man, that fool just tweets all day long. So, like, I stopped following him a long time ago. So, I wasn't spoiled on that either, and that was an awesome,
and there was
moment for him to come back,
Yeah, and the fact that Cody eliminated him
Yeah.
was even better. And then I was thinking something was gonna happen on Raw, but it didn't. So
yeah, I was kind of hoping that they would stick around and maybe set up for a WrestleMania match. Because what was it, like a year ago?
Yeah,
before he left.
Yeah,
they were talking about doing something
rumors.
like that.
Yeah,
there was a lot of rumors back then about having.
Real quick, I know we're going to talk about Raw here in just a minute, but because we're talking about this particular part of it.
Yeah,
the John Cena Cody Rhodes match on Raw, and Cody got on the mic and said, "I'm out of here," whatever, as he's walking away. Were you expecting Goldust to come out and just kind of throw him back in the ring or something?
I wasn't expecting that particularly.
That's what I was.
But now that you say that would have been perfect.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh please God, because I just want to see this feud continue with them going to Mania.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But I didn't think about that. I guess you're just smarter than I am.
Yes. Okay, so what else we got?
Alright, so, we already mentioned another return, Otunga. Who cares? Whatever. And then, of course, we mentioned the return of Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest Rey Mysterio fan. I even tweeted, I was like, okay, let's start taking bets now. This is, how long is it going to be till he gets his next injury?
Sometime this match.
Yeah, so that was one of the first responses that I got.
Before the end of the Raw match.
Yeah.
But
and we didn't see him on Raw, so maybe he...
Yeah, he wasn't on Raw, was he?
No, he wasn't.
But it was like he returned, but that was pretty much it. He didn't really do anything. Of course, it's the Raw match and there's the guys in there and stuff like that, but just he was kind of there and he got eliminated and that's it.
Yeah, and that's it. And
well,
I don't know.
You know what? They don't want two Mexican stars at the same time. So this is my conspiracy theory.
They already put all their huevos in one basket, so with Del Rio.
Sorry, Ray, we can't push you right now. We got this dude over here.
Yeah, we already have our...
He's a champion. What are you?
We already have our quota for Mexicans, so,
Token Mexicans.
Yeah. We already fulfilled our affirmative action requirements. Oh, that's racist. Yay, racist.
But you're here, sucks.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah,
I can be racist to my own kind, right?
If I happen to agree with you, that's just me being a friend.
Yeah. Alright, now, the one other surprise return The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't even care.
Awesome.
I don't even care that he got eliminated right after that. It was just a good time.
No, that was awesome
Yeah.
that he got eliminated right after that. Because, like, he came out with the hat and the cane. Or, does he have the cane?
No, he didn't have the cane.
Okay, well, the hat and the sunglasses and the robe.
Right.
Yeah, or jacket, whatever you want to call it, the pimp suit.
Yeah.
And he gets in there, he gets eliminated, and he's like, he kind of shrugged his shoulders, started putting all his pimp outfit back on. It's like, come on, how's this going?
Yeah.
You know, and well, granted, it wasn't a hoe train that he had with him. It was just, you know,
PG.
2 girls, but yeah, it was PG.
Yeah.
And they were definitely not dressed as...
yeah, I did notice that. I was like,
Yeah.
these are the finely dressed hoes I've ever seen.
Yes, these are the most PG,
Yes.
quote unquote,
If
hoes
you're gonna have,
ever.
if you're gonna have PG hoes,
Yeah.
there you go.
You know, but it was awesome. He had entrance music. And he was coming out, you know, with the girls.
It never stopped. The entrance music never
The
stopped.
entrance music never stopped. He got in, was eliminated. His entrance music never finished.
And that was
and you saw her walking away.
That was the beauty of it right there. Yeah.
That was so great. Our friend Aaron, he even made the joke. He said, "Wow, I guess this guy has exit music." That's true. That's pretty much what happened. He had entrance and exit music.
It was all the same.
It was all the same. It was great. I thought that was an awesome moment. Part of me wanted to see him last in the Rumble longer, but
to what extent? He wasn't gonna, what was he gonna do, you know?
But exactly, to that extent, come on, he's not gonna win, whatever, and it's just one of those, surprises for the Rumble.
Right.
So, the way it happened, how he got eliminated, his music never stopped.
It was fine with me. Yeah.
He just kind of shrugged and said, "Oh well, fuck it, put on my hat. It's okay. I'm still a pimp, and I still got my hoes."
Exactly.
It's great. I love that part.
So, one moment, I guess they're gonna make this a recurring thing, but Kofi,
Yes.
I give him A for effort for creativity. I guess it just wasn't as visually, it wasn't as cool as the previous ones that he's done.
Right.
About the little faux elimination and getting himself back into the thing.
Yeah.
It was fun and kids laughed and I don't know, it was all that, but it was okay. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was kind of strange. What I was expecting for him to do once after he got off of Tensai's back and was on the table, I thought what he was going to do was jump on the railing that was to his right, the barricade, and kind of walk the barricade and then jump on the steps, which were right there. Because that seemed like it was a shorter distance to jump from the table to the barricade than it was from the table to the ring, which he had teased. And I don't know what exactly happened there and what was planned and not planned. I think it was my coworker Arnold that was telling me this earlier today, saying that he thought it was improvised, him jumping on the chair, because they hinted or they teased that he was going to jump all the way from the table to the apron, but he hesitated, and maybe he felt that table was wobbly, and then of course later on in the night we saw what happened with the table. So I don't know if it was that thing. He's like, well, let me figure something else out and use the chair. But before the chair happened, that's what I thought. He was going to use the barricade and jump on the steps.
If I'm thinking the time frame here, I think that was when I made a comment when I was watching it that I could just see that on top of that little cover on top of the table had the logo.
Says the logo.
Yeah,
that says
I could just, I was saying to myself, I could just see that him like trying to jump off that, and that just like goes underneath.
And that thing just slips, and he just falls on his face. Yeah, that was another thing too. That all of us that were sitting there watching it on the TV, we were like, move the thing. You're gonna slip. Move the thing. If you're gonna try this, get rid of that, and just but he never did. There was no way he would have gotten enough traction to even attempt that.
So
jump.
maybe the chair was improvised.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know what was planned and not planned, but once he got the chair out and he started like humping on the chair to get it to move all the way to the ring, I thought, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's kind of silly and it's not as athletic as a move that I thought he was going to do.
He's doing handstands last year, and so that's a big departure from that.
Yeah, and especially the thing in my head that I saw him, picture him doing would have been 10 times more awesome. Walking the barricade, jumping on the steps, boom, there you go. But on the one, I mean, that's on the one hand. On the other hand, I don't think my fat ass.
Oh, I know your fat ass.
I don't think my fat ass could get in an office chair and stand on it the way he did and make it hop. I don't think I could do that. I think that would take some athletic ability.
I would love to see you attempt that.
We have a chair right there, Abel. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
You put that on YouTube, see how many hits we get. Hopefully I don't break my neck in the process.
What are you kidding? The more stuff you break, the more hits we get.
I don't want to break my neck.
Do it for the show.
For the show.
Dedication.
Yes. But I don't know, maybe it takes more athletic ability to do that than what it looked. Because it didn't look that impressive. But maybe, like, if anybody's ever tried to jump on with a chair like that, maybe it's like,
when he was hopping with the chair, I was thinking, okay, one of these wheels is gonna roll.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was thinking, that's not gonna work out right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and that kind of makes me want to lean more to the other side, that it was planned, because that's something you probably got to practice, because there's so many variables that could go wrong with that. Yeah, the wheel on the chair could break or slip. The chair itself, you know,
if you're unbalanced,
if you're unbalanced, you could just fall over, right, and then you're eliminated, and you weren't supposed to be eliminated. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong with that. Maybe he did practice it, and if he practiced it, I mean, who's going to practice doing that to an office chair? I mean, you know, maybe if it was practiced, then maybe they planned it. So, I don't know, and I don't care that I don't know. That's cool that I don't know, that I'm guessing. That's awesome that there's a spot that's a unique spot I've never seen before, and it's got me guessing as to whether or not it's improvised or not.
And we spent a long time talking about it.
We did. So, congratulations, Kofi. You know, good job.
More like Damien Kofi for making us talk about it that long.
Yeah.
So, okay, moving on.
Moving on.
There was one elimination spot.
Yes, I know where you're going.
I want to discuss here. D-Bry. He throws out his partner.
Yeah. He throws out Kane.
Right after he gets eliminated.
Right.
Or he gets thrown out.
Who threw him out? I didn't catch that.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's not even...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. He gets thrown into the arms of his tag team partner, the same tag team partner he just eliminated.
Yes.
The posture and the position he was in.
Oh, yeah.
And just the pause on the look on his face, like, holy shit. I just effed up.
Yeah. That was great, the position, because it was pretty much the same position that AJ was in when AJ was making out with Kane.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that.
No, I thought it too. I think there was a lot of people out there that thought it, and I was like, oh my god. Tigerboy's about to make out with Kane.
Just so I get eliminated.
Yeah, just so I get eliminated. But then, I mean, obviously they're not going to do that. Yeah. But the back and forth that they had, it's like, put me back in. And Kane was like, no, come on. No, you gotta, and they have this little back and forth, and Kane kind of moves towards the thing, and D-Bar tries to grab the bottom rope, and Kane just like drops him. It's like, hey, screw you, buddy. Yeah. And it's like,
that's what you get for eliminating me.
Yeah.
You jerk.
Yeah, and that moment there could have been the beginning of the end of Team Hell No. That's what I was thinking at the time. Now, seeing kind of what happened on Raw, that they were still a cohesive unit, maybe not so much, but I mean, I was expecting that to happen in the tag team match. I was expecting the beginning of the end of Team Hell No and when that didn't happen and I saw that spot in the Rumble, I thought, well, maybe this is the end. Because they were even fighting a little bit, you know, in the match itself, like there for a minute there, and then, you know, D-Bry eliminated Kane, so... Do you think that I'm crazy here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, was it a question? I just heard you think I'm crazy. Yes, you are.
Yeah, yes.
No, I was thinking the tension was going to happen during the tag team title match. It didn't. And what we saw on Raw was kind of the start of that. Which I think, starting on Raw, I think that was the start of them breaking up.
You think so?
I think so.
Because I thought on Raw it was like them going back and forth the way they normally go back and forth.
No, but it was a little more physical this time, I think.
Okay. Well, and then again, it could have stemmed from what happened the night before.
Hey, do you think once they do, they're going to eventually feud at some point?
Yeah.
Do you think they're still going to be tag team champs? And have tag team champion versus tag team champion? Because remember, he's a tag team champion.
He's a tag team champion. I don't know, because what I was thinking would happen is that they would take the titles off of them, and once they take the titles off, that's when they start, really button heads, and then boom, the feud. But they could have the feud with the tag team titles still on them, and that adds another level of complexity. It's like, you guys are tag team champions, why are you fighting each other? Type of thing. So, I don't know. Either way would probably work.
That's very WCW, NWO-ish. That happened one time. With that Sting and Big Show, or Giant.
Yeah. Well, I think that's happened before in WWE also. I mean, I can't...
Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I think Cena and somebody else. He was a tag team champion with him for... not Triple H. Yeah, anyway, that happened. Yeah, that's happened before. So, but not to the extent of the storyline itself of them.
Yeah. I think the gravity of their storyline and how long it's been.
Right. Normally when this happens, it's like two guys don't like each other, just team up for a night, and they happen to win the titles, and then they.
But here, these guys have teamed together, won the titles. They kind of don't like each other, but they do, and then they're going to these anger management meetings at the same time, and now they're getting along, but
because they graduated from anger management.
Yeah, so there's more to it. There's more meat on that bone of that storyline there, And that's a good thing.
And to that extent, that hasn't been done yet.
Right.
So there you go. Do we want to move on to the ending of the Rumble match?
Okay, ending of the Rumble. Oh, why did Mr. Ziggles get eliminated before he could be in the last four, the final four?
He didn't show off, did he?
I guess not. But he lasted an awful long time. I mean, he went from the beginning to almost the end.
Well, he went to the final four, didn't he?
No, he was like the fifth guy eliminated.
Yeah, close
and the fourth one was Orton, wasn't it?
Because I was saying that
they didn't really have a final four. They had a final three. Because once they got down to like 6, it was 6, 5, 4, 3. And then that's when they stopped and like, oh, we're the last 3. Normally that spot is, oh, we're the last 4. But they didn't have that spot. They had a last 3 spot.
We called it last week, and I said that I think he can go all the way to final 4.
Okay.
And close enough. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
But, okay, going into the final 2, we have Cena and we have...
Ryback.
Now...
Well, I'm surprised you don't want to talk about Sheamus.
Why, because he's a ginger?
Yes. He was the one of the final 3 that I was cheering for.
Were you?
Yes. And here's why.
Do tell.
If Cena would have won, he would have challenged for a WWE title.
Right.
If Ryback would have won, he would have challenged for a WWE title.
Right.
If Sheamus would have won, he probably would have challenged for the World Heavyweight title.
Maybe.
That way, this whole... And this was before, the Punk and Rock match, and I was thinking, well, okay, if Cena wins, we know who's going to win the next match. And we predicted it last week, and even then, I was still hoping, against hope, that they would do something that's not the predictable, obvious thing. And once Ziggler got knocked out of there, I was like...
Okay, I'm going to... Go ahead.
Yeah, once Ziggler got knocked out of there, I was like, oh no. And I had to put my hope in somebody, and my hope was, on Sheamus. I was like, well, Sheamus would be the only creative, weird, out of left field thing that I wouldn't have expected to happen.
Okay.
So that's my take on it. Of course, that's not what happened. So now we can get down to the final 2.
Right.
Ryback and Cena. What were you going to say about Ryback and Cena?
Well, you kind of threw that comment out there about the predictable whatever storyline. And I've been hearing that as a recurring theme with everybody's bitching and moaning.
Yes.
And I'll be the bad guy on this one. I don't care. But, vilify me.
You're always the bad guy.
Yeah. So, what do you people expect? Yes, they can go crazy and unpredictable. This is WrestleMania. They've tried a few things, and you've said this before, where they've been trying other things before, not including Cena, and you feel that they're eventually going to have Cena back on top again.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, it's not the most outrageous idea, and yeah, it was predictable. This is WrestleMania. This is Road to WrestleMania. This is building up to something that's been built up, actually. Going back last year with Cena losing all his matches and this and that and having a bad year, coming off the loss from The Rock. I think when Cena first won, people were like, ugh, they just kind of rolled their eyes. Okay, Cena won. Mm-hmm. He's only won one Royal Rumble, so it's not like he's winning them all or anything.
Well, now it's 2.
Oh, God, okay. Do you have one of those shirts that says, "We hate Cena"?
No, I don't, but I kind of would like to have one eventually. But,
I can tell.
But it's funny because I'm always the one that's accused of being the closet Cena lover. But the way you're talking right now...
I'm not. No, it's not I'm a Cena lover or anything like that. I'm seeing it from a business standpoint.
Oh, no. And Travis, I agree with you. Having Rock and Cena, that main event WrestleMania, that's going to put more eyeballs on the product and whatever.
Right.
But as a wrestling fan, I want to cheer for who I want to cheer for, you know? And I don't want to... I don't want to see Cena. I don't want to see Cena and Rock again. You know, I don't want that to happen. But I understand why it's happening. Now, there's people that are out there that can't make that distinction. There's people that are out there that are just going to be like, well, I'm not going to try to understand why it's happening, and I don't care about the business. I just want what I want, and that's it. And what I want is, you know, Punk or Ziggler or whoever else to take the spotlight. Right. You know, I don't want to see, you know, Rock and Cena again. I'm able to make that distinction, and hell, we predicted it. Right. You know, we said, you know, this is what's going to happen.
It's a safe bet for WWE.
Business-wise. Right. It's a safe bet for WWE. Business-wise, yes. Right. You know, so, I mean, I agree. But that doesn't mean that I'm, like, completely happy about it, and it doesn't mean that I can't hope that they're going to surprise me and do something else.
And they probably will.
What do you mean they probably will?
Well, they could still surprise you.
Oh, well, yeah, they can still do, but not with this. You know, not with what just happened. I mean, this wasn't surprising at all.
Right.
It was predictable.
But between now and WrestleMania, there could be surprises.
Well, that's true. I mean, hell, we already have a surprise. We already have something that I wasn't expecting, but we'll talk about that once we get to the Raw talk. But, this right here, Cena winning the Rumble, was very predictable.
Right.
And I don't think predictability is necessarily a good thing.
So you'd rather see... Okay, so we're down to the final 2. Mm-hmm. Would you have rather see Ryback in the main event of WrestleMania?
No, but that's why I was saying that I didn't... The spot happened with the final 3. Once Sheamus was eliminated...
Yeah, Sheamus is eliminated. You got 2 people in there. Who do you want to win?
Jeez, if I had to pick between Ryback or Cena going to the main event of Rumble, or main event of Mania, I'd pick Cena. Because I don't think Ryback is ready. I don't think Ryback's there. And I go with the devil you do know instead of the devil you don't know, basically, for me. You know, it would come down to, okay, well, my fanness is already done and over with, and, you know, let's throw that out the window, and now let's just look at what I know about the business and what would be good for the business side of things. Well, I'll pick Cena, of course. Right. You know, but I'm not, like, cheering for him. I'm not a Cena fan. I'm not happy about it. But I'm like, well, if I gotta choose between Ryback and Cena, well,
that's kind of
Cena.
Okay, so we kind of agree on that part.
Yeah.
Because I know why they did it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not like, I'm not like upset and like throwing shit around and throwing my championship belt on the ground and tearing up DVDs and shit. But I think what happened was when Cena went, like, just kind of rolled her eyes. Okay, whatever. And then what happened is after the end of the championship match, and this kind of leads in.
Let me say one thing before we get into the championship match. The feeling at our little Royal Rumble watch party was that of deflation. Like, Cena won. The energy in that room where we were all watching it just kind of exited.
But why?
Like, cause it's Cena,
but
man.
You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to get worked. Doesn't mean we're not going to have the emotion and the feeling. And the fact that you're right, and I don't mean you, I mean you in the general sense. The fact that, you're right about Cena was the one that's going to win, and he did win. That's like a...
It doesn't matter to you.
I'd rather be wrong.
Right.
I know I'm going to be right, but I'd rather be wrong And since I am right, it's like, oh,
okay, it's like this.
crap.
For me, I enjoyed the whole pay-per-view. I enjoyed the Rumble match as a whole, so I'm not going to let that ending, take that away from the actual match itself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
So I'm not going to make it too big of a deal about it, because, whatever. So.
Yeah.
All
right.
right. So, now we got the title match.
Title match. Let's do it.
Now, before we get to the ending, did you like the match itself?
The Rumble match itself?
No.
The title match.
Yeah, the title match.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was good. In fact, well, backtracking again, back to the Rumble match itself. How are we going to want to decide a match of the week candidate? Because, this is the 1 week out of the year where we have a Royal Rumble effing match. And Royal Rumble match is probably one of my favorite matches out of the whole year. And a bad Royal Rumble match can sometimes beat a good one-on-one match, So I think it's going to be kind of unfair for us to say, match of the week's a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, no, that's not, it's a different category.
You think it's just a totally different animal?
Yeah. What do you say would be the Rumble of the match? The Rumble of the week?
What?
What do you think would be the Rumble of the week?
What do you mean the Rumble of the week?
Out of all the Rumble matches, which one is the best one?
Well, Travis, I think it would be the one that happened at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, me too. I was thinking the same one.
Okay, great.
So now that we got that one out of the way, what's a good match of the week?
Match of the week. Okay, well, let's get to a match of the week candidate then, and let's just throw the Rumble out the window. All right. So we're not going to count the Rumble.
No.
Okay. The match that we're going to talk about right now, Punk versus Rock for the title at the Royal Rumble.
All right.
I think that's a match of the week candidate. I think it was a darn good match, although, again, going back to this whole dilemma and conundrum about it setting up Rock Cena twice in a lifetime, despite the ending, I still think it was a great match. And I think it's a match of the week candidate. But of course,
okay,
this is a big...
That's like, it's kind of generic. But what about the end of the match? Like the lights going out. Not
the actual
Shield.
booking, the way of it actually happening.
Yeah. Because they said specifically Shield can't interfere. Clearly, the Shield interfered.
Right.
And even Michael Cole, oh my god, that's Shield. And JBL called him a freaking stooge.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and that whole thing happened. That was kind of weak as far as run-ins go, I thought.
Yeah.
I was expecting Brock Lesnar.
I was expecting Lesnar, and when the lights went off, and there was just like the flashes of cameras that kind of illuminated it partially, and I saw a tattoo, I thought the tattoo was one of Brock Lesnar's tattoos, but once we rewound it, watched it again, tried to pause it at the right time, it seemed like it was more Roman Reigns' tattoo. But for a little while there, I thought that, Swerve, it's not really the Shield, it's Lesnar. Well, not right then.
As it was going?
Not as it was going. It was like after the thing was over, it's like, okay, let's rewind it and see where we're going. Because I wanted to see that, and I wanted to see the fail on the Spanish announcer table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was the only one that happened to not see the actual spot with the fail with the Spanish announcer table, because I was like looking away or tweeting or something, and was like, everybody went, oh! And I was like, what? What happened? So after the pay-per-view was over, we rewound and watched a couple of things, but those were two things we saw, that botch and what actually happened when the lights went out.
Yeah, that table break-in, man, that was... looked kind of sick the way Rock... I thought Rock maybe hurt his knee or something.
Yeah, I thought Punk was going to get hurt because he, went down first. Yeah. It looked nasty for both competitors, really. I don't know if it was just that they were standing on it, maybe in the wrong spot, or if that table, since it already saw Kofi standing on it, maybe Kofi messed it up or something, or maybe. Maybe it was shoddy from the get-go, and that's why...
Even then, that little makeup, right after that, where Rock grabbed Punk and did the rock bottom on the ground, that looked sick, too.
Yeah, Yeah. I really liked when Punk put back together the Spanish announcer table there, and he did the little bow namaste thing, like Arian Foster.
When he first was putting back together, I was like, watch, he's gonna go around and start taking it apart again. And sure enough, he
yeah, that it was pretty.
He had second thoughts and put it back together again. And
yeah. There was a lot of neat little things here and there that happened in that match, and it was a good match.
Yeah.
But you're right, with the way that the Shield did their thing, I thought it was kind of weak too. But, for a moment, I was thinking, well, maybe it's not the Shield. Maybe it's Lesnar. Maybe it's Brad Maddox. Hell, maybe it was 3MB. Maybe it was somebody other than the Shield, And I thought maybe they were going to continue with that, like on into Raw, spilling over into Raw, that, oh yeah, it wasn't really them, we can't prove it, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the way the story of the match went. The story of the match was the lights went out, they tried to fool us, but it was the Shield, duh, come on. And
well, not even that.
Yeah.
I think the storyline work of that was Michael Cole announcing that it was a Shield.
Yeah.
Guys, they're 3 feet away from me. I can see everything they're doing.
Yeah.
And JBL's over here doing, shut up, Cole.
Freaking Nighthawk over here can tell in the dark who it is. Freaking Cole. But,
God damn you, Cole.
When those lights went out, I thought that they were going to be able to do more of a, well, we legitimately don't know who it was.
Right.
But no, that's not what happened. The lights went out and you fooled no one. That was the story of the match, basically. The lights went out, but you fooled nobody.
Yeah.
Which
that
was kind of weak.
That part right there kind of got me like, ugh, really? Okay. It's because I was expecting a little bit more, something different,
Yeah, a little bit more of a better done swerve.
And Punk won.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the whole Vince coming out. I was like, oh, here we go.
Vince coming out, restarting the match, and then, Vince was going to strip him, and then, Brock was like, no, I want to do it. So.
Now, with the ending, and Rock winning everything, that was another one that, again, kind of predictable.
Yeah, predictable. Especially considering Cena won the Rumble. Well, if Cena won the Rumble, more than likely, Rock's going to win the title, setting up twice in a lifetime.
Right. And they could, and they said it on Raw, where he could have gone after Punk too, because he's never beat Punk all this time, and this and that. But the money's in the Rock match. Yeah. But we mentioned that Punk already has his historic ring.
Yes.
So if he lost the title at Rumble, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because
we both agreed on that. We both said that.
Yeah. It's not even a year reign. It wasn't even 366 days, whatever. It was 434 freaking days.
Yeah. It was more than a calendar year.
Yeah, more. Not even a day or two.
It was like from 2011 to 2013.
Yeah.
He was a champ.
Yeah.
So they've proven what they needed to prove, and Punk has already proven what he wanted to prove. And I'm happy with this title reign.
Yeah.
And we said it, more than likely Cena's going to win, more than likely Rock's going to win, so we're okay with it. Yeah. Now, here is one problem that I do have, okay? I have a problem that The Rock beat Punk with the People's Elbow. People's Elbow is not the most devastating move. The People's Elbow is a flashy move. It should be more of a signature than a finisher. And that's what he won it with. It's
not unheard of that he...
You're right, it's not unheard of. But we're talking about CM Punk.
Right.
The guy who's been the champ for 400 some odd days. The guy who's beaten everybody. Beat Cena. Beat, Daniel Bryan. Everybody in the damn company. The top guy who's been the top guy won People's Elbow and that's it? Come on, man. Like, at least have it be a rock bottom. Or have him kick out of the elbow and then a rock bottom. Or, have him get in a sharpshooter. Like, there could have been a couple more things in there. There could have been another spot. And if it was a rock bottom, okay, that he got hit with a rock bottom earlier in the match. And, outside. And People's Elbow, I'm not happy with. Back in the day, when The Rock and Stone Cold and all that were on top of the world, even then, I didn't like the People's Elbow as a finisher. Whenever he would finish a match with the People's Elbow, I'm like, come on, it's just a freaking elbow. It's not even an elbow from the top rope. It's just, you're dropping an elbow and that's it.
Right.
That's not a finisher. That's not a finishing move. And, I buy the rock bottom more as a finishing move than I do the People's Elbow. And
well,
that kind of, Huh? Well, yeah, because it is. Because it is. But, I mean, they try to treat them both as finishers, and I don't think the people's elbow should have the status of finisher. It should be the same status that the 5-knuckle shuffle is. Yeah, Cena does the 5-knuckle shuffle as a setup for the attitude adjustment. He doesn't do it.
It's move number 4. Right?
Yeah, it's move number 4. You know, it's not the finishing move, you know?
My complaint, if I had to leave a grievance,
okay,
it's that, you know, the fact that it was a rock bottom that pinned him. But my thing is, it's always the same thing with restarts. Anytime a match is restarted and it's, you know, the heel's obviously going to lose or whatever.
Yeah.
It's never... A restart is usually... You hit the guy with like 1 or 2 moves and they get pinned.
Yeah.
I just like to see like a restart and like they go
another 30-minute match.
Like this go at it, you know, just beating the hell out of each other, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all that part is always the same, and I don't like that.
Yeah, that's true. All that being said, there was a lot of sentiments coming out of that pay-per-view where the IWC basically just rioted the best way they know how, which is just basically bitching and moaning on the internet.
And before we do that, what was your final thought on the pay-per-view?
My final thought was that I got caught up in the emotion of it and in being a CM Punk mark and being a Ziggler mark and not wanting to see Cena and The Rock again. Even though I know that it's good for the company, I didn't want to see it. And it was like, oh man, I predicted this. I don't like it when I'm able to predict it. And I was emotionally, I'm like, frustrated. Like, oh man, this is ridiculous. This is crap. I can't believe it. But after that initial emotion, you know, it's like, okay, I got worked. That's awesome. I got worked. That's great. I'm glad I got worked. And in the end, this is going to be better for everybody. The Rock is going to have 3 Hollywood premieres between now and Mania. And one of them was like a freaking big blockbuster with G.I. Joe. And what's the first one that's coming up? Is Stash or
Snitch?
Snitch, yeah, Snitch. And then there's another one.
He's got 5 movies coming out this year.
Yeah, but 3 between now and Mania, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, the Snitch, G.I. Joe, and like he's gonna be carrying around this title to all these premieres. And as a wrestling fan, as somebody that wants to see wrestling get to that point where it was maybe 15 years ago, I'm glad that there's that potential of growth. Maybe it's not the way that I want it to be, but it's there.
You want to, these people are just riding Rock's ass for being the champion and everything, but look at the numbers. Look at the ratings. What was the...
Yeah, Rock got 5 million views, which is better than they've been doing in a while. Yeah. Like, they've been pulling like 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
And
Rock is, he's money for this company.
Yes.
Where the people... And why are... maybe it's because he's going up against Punk, but
yes.
Why are people so against Rock now?
You know what? I kind of found myself thinking the exact same thing. Because I like The Rock.
Yeah, we all like The Rock.
Yes, everybody loves The Rock. So why is...
I can't... I guess it's because we don't want to see him going against Punk, even though they have awesome promos together.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, well, Punk does good promos on Rock.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this like 2 weeks ago, where we thought, okay, Punk won the first one. And again, with my analysis where I was talking about, well... The Rock is more of a caricature, whereas Punk is more set in realism. I still think there's a bit of a disconnect there, Right.
Well, there's the caricature Rock, and then there's serious Rock.
Right, and we saw serious Rock on SmackDown, the show we said we weren't going to talk about.
Right.
I mean, it happened.
Well, what about the promo before the match, the championship match?
On Rumble? Honestly, I wasn't even paying attention. Well, because the stuff with Cena just happened, the Twitter universe
that's right. Everybody was still crying.
I was Twitter, yeah.
You're in the bathroom. You're bathroom crying.
It was like, oh, okay, The Rock's up there and he's cutting a promo. It's like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Cena just won, But on SmackDown it happened for a little bit. He was doing serious Rock, and it happened on Raw for a little bit. He was serious Rock, and that's what I want to see. I want to see a serious Rock and not goofy, Fruity Pebbles, Cookie Puss, getting stuff to trend on Twitter, because that doesn't work when you're going against Punk. It works when you're going against Cena, but not against Punk.
Because Cena will try to...
Cena could cheese his way through that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Cena plays along.
Cena plays along, and he can be cheesy.
And I think,
you know,
that for me, that's what I'm not looking forward to. Is another round of Cena and...
Another round of Velveeta?
No.
What do you mean, no? This is just going to be a freaking cheese fest. That's a great way to describe it. It's just going to be a bunch of Velveeta all over.
God, you're so Mexican.
Right. How's that a Mexican thing?
Okay, so...
It's American cheese!
That's what I don't want to see.
Okay.
Is these Velveeta promos between Rock and Punk again.
You mean Rock and Cena?
What did I say? Rock and Punk? Yeah, Rock and Cena. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I don't want to see that again. But as far as them having a match again, I really don't care. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, it wasn't a terrible match last year.
That's true.
And it's just the lead up. They had a really shitty build up to that match with the really bad promos and everything. But that's kind of getting into another conversation.
You're right. You are going to get into a different conversation with that. I think at this point is when we could start wrapping it up with the Royal Rumble talk. One thing that I do want to touch on is that we were able to send a correspondent out to the Royal Rumble on Houston Wrestling Radio's private jet, all expenses paid. We had our own inside man covering the event, Scott. Yeah, we sent him out there to see what was happening. No,
yes, we sent him out there. Yes,
on the
That's how powerful
jet.
we are.
That's how powerful
we
we
have
are.
interns and whatnot.
No, Scott, our friend, just happened to buy a ticket and decide to go to Phoenix.
I like the first story better.
You like the first story better? Okay,
yeah.
Well, we'll stick with that.
Yeah, you just had to blow it.
Yeah, I know. He went and he had a couple of things to tell me about the event. The first thing he told me is that on the pre-show, Miz was getting quite a reaction. Apparently, Miz was really over there at the arena in Phoenix. So
they're doing an anti-American angle with Cesaro.
Yeah,
and of course, any guy that's gonna go in there against the foreigner, he's gonna get cheered. So,
well, yeah, that's probably what it is. But that's what he said, that he was getting a good reaction during the Rumble itself. He said it was great and people were really into it. He said that the crowd was really hot, which I would expect the crowd would be hot for that. And he also was saying that during the Punk and Rock match, that throughout the whole match there was boos to asses and knees to faces chants, dueling.
You can hear those on TV if you're paying attention, Abel.
Well,
too busy crying.
No, we couldn't really hear the audio all that much.
Because you're all too busy bitching.
Yeah, you were. Shut up. Shut up, man. One other thing that he did want to mention is that he could totally tell in the arena that it was a Shield, and they crawled out from up underneath the ring. That's where they were stashed, I guess, during the match. They were under the ring, lights went out, he crawled out from there, did what they did to The Rock, and then crawled back underneath the ring. So that's how they pulled off that stunt. But it was very visible that it was a Shield. And he was at the top freaking row. He was at, of all places, the last freaking row in the whole arena, way up at the very, very back.
His seats were so high, he still has a nosebleed right now.
He still has a nosebleed, yes. So, that was his report.
Get well soon, man. Get well soon.
Aside from all those things that he had noticed and that had happened at the event, one thing that he did want to say, and he made a point of saying, hey, if you talk about, what I was telling you on the show, make sure that you make it clear that the arena sucked. I was like, okay, what do you mean the arena sucked? The crowd? It's no, not the crowd, the arena. He explained a little bit more to me. Apparently, that arena had only one entrance. Yeah, it was just on one side and one entrance, and everybody had to file through that and circle all the way around to go up, and that there was lines, really, really long lines for everything because of that, and it was hard to get in, and that they barely got in time to see Cesaro versus The Miz. And he just really didn't like that arena. And
that's making me mad just thinking about one doors.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that's freaking frustrating as hell, I bet. Like, that's
who designed that?
Not good. I mean, that's what you wanted to say about that. So, there we go. Okay. Thank you, Scott, for flying on the Houston Wrestling Radio jet plane.
Did he report, was there any riots?
Apparently not.
How about that?
How about that? No, the only riots that the IWC does is Twitter and internet bitching on message board riots. That's all that we do. So, okay. Are we gonna finally talk about Raw? Let's see here. We're over an hour. I knew that this was gonna be a freaking long episode. Alright. The way that we were gonna go ahead and, structure our Raw talk is that we were gonna do the good, the bad, and the ugly. Alright? 'Cause I said this on our Facebook page. Raw was terrible and Raw was awesome. So let's go ahead and get into some goods. Should we, Travis?
We should.
All right, let's go ahead and roll something here.
I'm gonna stand on the stage like a punk ass bitch because it's cool to swear, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead. And I'm going to stand up here like a punk-ass bitch because CM Punk doesn't do things on your terms. I do things when I want to.
Okay, and that was a clip from the little promo between Punk and Rock.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the goods.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely one of the goods of Monday Night Raw. That whole little piece right there. They're saying, are you just going to be a punk-ass bitch? And then, well, I'm just going to go ahead and be a punk-ass bitch. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a WWE superstar that has done things so realistically as far as being a smart ass and being one of, like, the people, as CM Punk has. Like, there's always been people that made fun of people like The Rock and saying things off the cuff like Jericho and making fun of people. But I don't think we've ever had somebody who would say to The Rock something that a smart mark would say to the TV while they're watching. And being, like, just sarcastic about it and being totally dismissive of The Rock. Are you gonna be a punk-ass bitch? Well, I guess I'm gonna be a punk-ass bitch. Like, that was just so great, and it illustrates just how different Punk is than The Rock, and different than anybody else that there's ever really been in the WWE.
Yeah, and you never kind of know what Punk's gonna say. But when he does say it, you know he means what he says. Yes.
Yeah, and whenever he does say it, it's usually something pretty innovative. And sometimes he says what we're thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, you gonna be a punk-ass bitch? Yeah, I'm gonna be a punk-ass bitch. I'm gonna go stand over here and...
And then going on to that, you know what? I've already said that Punk he's cemented himself with this title reign that he had. Going with that, I like the fact that he's lost the belt. Because now he's delusional. He's lost it.
Man, he was livid.
Rightfully so, in his mind, in CM Punk's mind.
And the character of CM Punk, yes.
Yes.
And he played it to a T. I don't think I've ever seen a former champion that PO'd ever on a Raw after a pay-per-view where he lost the title.
And that goes into what he said last week. This means more to me than your families mean more to you.
Yeah. Like, he was so pissed. I don't think whenever Cena lost the title, or whenever, hell, anybody's lost the title, that they've been that visibly angry.
It's the same thing. I lost my belt, but I have a rematch. So I have a mandatory rematch, so I'm not going to worry about getting mad about it. I'm just going to
it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to kick your ass again, and I demand my rematch. And yeah, there's been some times when people are, like, angry about it, and, like, they're being a heel. But no, Punk is like, oh, wow, this dude is drinking his own Kool-Aid, and he really is pissed off.
Yeah, I mean...
And that's how it was at the beginning of the show.
That was pure emotion.
Yeah.
Of hate, of just being pissed off. And, he like you said, he played it to a T on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, that was just like the opening segment, and it still carried over to that segment with him and The Rock, and he was still like pissed, and it was like the character CM Punk still thinks that he was screwed, and he thinks that he's in the right, and there's like so much psychology behind that. And what he was saying after all that we just heard, where he was talking about, well, I'm going to grant you a rematch. You know, because
I didn't lose.
I didn't lose the title. I was screwed out of my title. Like this fool really thinks he was,
and it's believable the way he's doing it.
And, you know, this, again, plays into all this stuff that we were talking about the IWC being so angry that Punk lost the title. Punk losing the title has made this character even more crazy and even better. He lost the title, but he's had the best performance that he's had in, like, a long time, and that's saying something on this Raw.
Are you saying that you're okay with Punk losing the belt?
Yes. You know what? We said that last week, that I'm okay with Punk losing the belt. What I wasn't okay with was, one, the People's Elbow.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how he lost it.
Lame, yeah.
And what I'm not okay with is twice in a lifetime. That's what I'm really not okay with. It's not so much that it's not Punk with the title, because I'd already come to terms with that. He's had such a lengthy reign. I'm cool with it.
Right.
But twice in a lifetime, that's what I'm not cool with. I'm not cool with Cena Rock 2. That's what I'm not cool with. But I understand. Yes, I know. I see that look that you're giving me. It needs to happen for the good of the,
not even
wrestling world.
Not even that. But we can. You want to talk about it now? Or?
Go ahead. We're talking about punk rock. Let's talk about punk rock.
Well, as far as Rock Cena 2,
yeah,
twice in a lifetime,
right?
Okay, I've heard the complaints in the past about there's no long-term planning for storylines.
Oh no. I disagree with that. I think, and I see some insights. Now, we're not talking about Punk and Cena and Rock when I get to this, but I think that there's been some lengthy planning that has occurred, and we just saw it happen right in front of our eyes with these last two shows that happened,
right.
Rumble and Raw. I think there was a lot of long-term planning, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
But no, say what you were going to say though. Go ahead.
Well, it kind of goes into that.
Okay.
As far as people like yourself saying you don't want to see Rock and Cena 2 twice. I have a problem with twice in a lifetime.
Okay.
You do understand that this has been built up for well over a year now, right?
Yeah, I know.
So when we, in the past they said, oh, where's the structure and the storylines and this and that? From Cena losing, and granted that match was called once in a lifetime, just because of the build-up of the match, they were only planning on, once in a lifetime, because Rock was, only there for that or whatever, and they were only going to fight the one time. But the way they got around to having this rematch, it all makes sense.
Okay.
They're not saying, oh, let's just have a rematch just for the sake of a rematch.
Right.
Cena had a bad year. I'm using quotation marks on that. He had a bad year in 2012, losing and whatnot, and this and that. Lost to The Rock.
He was still Superstar of the Year.
Well, yeah. He lost to The Rock. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of setting up his whole bad year that he had, I guess. And, Rock winning the title at Rumble, and him winning the Rumble match, that is getting them both back into Rumble by... It's all flowing naturally. It's not being forced.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not twice in a lifetime because they just want to have that match and there's no reason to do it. There's a reason to do it.
Well, yeah, the reason to do it is dollar signs.
Well, not even that. I'm talking about story. Now I'm talking about storyline wise.
You're talking about storyline wise.
Because it's been built up for well over a year.
Oh, because, the title and Cena won the Rumble. Okay, I understand.
Right. It's all flowing naturally. It's not being forced.
Okay.
That's why I don't have a problem with Rock Cena 2.
Okay.
Just because of that. If it was something where Cena just came out and says, I want a rematch, kind of like what Shawn Michaels did with Undertaker. If it was something like that, I'd be pissed. It's like, come on, that's...
Yeah, it's like, come on, again with the year-long.
That's what I
yeah.
That's what I would have a problem with. But the way they've gone around doing it,
where it's more like happenstance, like Cena
exactly.
happened to win the Rumble,
exactly.
Brock happened to be the WWE champion.
Yeah, that I'm okay with.
Okay,
and I can deal with that because that is long-term planning. That is storyline built up properly.
Okay, well, what I wanted to talk about with long-term planning was something different.
Okay.
But related, and we can transition into this.
All right.
With all the stuff that happened with Punk and Rock, there was something that I think was indicative of the fact that there was some long-term planning for something else, which was this whole thing with the Shield and, Lesnar and Heyman and Brad Maddox and the whole Heyman bunch.
Yeah.
I think that there was some long-term planning there because there was seeds that were planted back in October that all this stuff is barely coming to fruition now,
yes.
like right now going into the road to WrestleMania. So this is a story arc that has been going for, a good, 3-4 months now, and it's going to continue for the next month and a half,
right.
all the way into Mania. And I don't know, do we have any more audio to play there with all the stuff that was going on with Heyman? Because this is another thing that we want to get into.
There were so many good
goods.
things. Yeah, there were so many good quotes and lines from this show. Getting to that, not the main event, but I mean, it was the main
the last
story,
show,
the main storyline arc.
The big story of Raw, yeah.
Yeah, was the final piece.
Yeah, well, go ahead and pull up that audio and let's play it real quick.
In the Madison Square Garden dressing room, I heard your father say the phrase, "Adversity defines a man's character in his darkest hour." And faced with the adversity of the fact that I have a feeling I know where this is going, I will tell you, I have lied every day of my stinking life because I am a promoter. And that's what promoters do. We lie to survive tonight, simply to get till tomorrow. Whatever answer I had to give in my life to survive on that particular evening, just so I could wake up the next day alive and with a business or with a career or with a job, I have lied through my teeth. I have lied swearing to God. I have lied on the souls of my parents, and I have lied, and I don't regret it because that's what it took for me to survive. But I will tell you, looking you in the eye right now and knowing that my career is on the line, I swear to you on everything that is Holy Vixen Kennedy McMahon, I've lied every day of my life, but I swear to you, I am not lying now.
That is awesome. George Costanza's got nothing on Paul Heyman. What was the famous line from Costanza? It's not a lie if you believe it.
Exactly. And he believed
it.
Yeah.
And then they played the footage where, he's talking to Brad Maddox and the Shield, and he basically gave everything all away, saying that, hey, when we hired you, to be the referee for Punk's match, and, the Shield doesn't do this whenever we tell the Shield to da-da-da. And, it pretty much just, gave everything away. And I saw a tweet saying, well, that wasn't much of a slow burn or anything like that. I was like, wait a second. Yes, it was a slow burn. It was a really slow burn. It was so slow of a burn that we didn't realize it was actually happening.
Right.
Up until right then. When Maddox did his thing, for a long time, there's still people going back and forth as to whether or not Maddox was actually in cahoots with Heyman and Punk. And then once Shield came into the picture, there was a lot of stuff was whether or not Shield was in cahoots with Punk and all that. And there was enough doubt and enough other red herrings that storyline and creative put in there that we didn't suspect it. And it wasn't, I'm going to use your favorite word, predictable. It wasn't predictable. It wasn't obvious.
Right.
And that is what I was wanting from this whole Cena and Rock stuff. Unpredictability. Stuff that isn't obvious. The stuff that I was upset about and I was lacking from that storyline, I'm getting in spades in this storyline.
Yeah. I just love the way that storyline at the end of Raw just unfolded.
Oh yeah.
You didn't see the footage, and they said the footage, you know, there's going to have some kind of footage that they're going to show. I was like, okay, well. And
we all know how it went the last time there was secret footage.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't expecting
Cena, yeah.
I wasn't expecting much, you know. And then, like you said, they just threw everything out there. You know, all the answers that we had were they in cahoots and this and that.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
And the implications of this coming out of this, how is Punk going to respond? You know?
Yeah, and was Punk privy to all this? Did he know what was going on? And that was a question that was left unanswered. Right. And I like that. Yes. So it answered a bunch of questions, but it still left another big question, which is great. Yeah. That's what you want to do, right. And that's great storytelling. And that's the type of storytelling that we saw, you know, when we were complaining a few months back where we were talking about, oh, The Walking Dead's a lot better than what's going on today. That right there is Walking Dead type storyline, actual professional TV show storyline stuff that's going on.
A payoff is what's right word.
Well, it was a payoff, but I mean, the way it was crafted, it was crafted with more detail and more care than some of the other storylines that are just being thrown out there, you know?
Yeah, this tells you the state of WWE now, as opposed to a few years ago. Prime example: long-term planning and their lack of.
Yeah. Anonymous
GM.
Yeah.
That was a perfect way to have a long-term storyline build up to who's pulling the strings on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's Hornswoggle, but whatever.
Yeah.
So that was a fail.
Yeah, it was.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, and what I want to know is how much influence does this storyline have from Punk and from Heyman and from creative and who else coming up the storyline? Because it's really good and it's really different from stuff that's been going on with other people, you know?
Yeah.
One thing that I did want to say is that a lot of people are still kind of suspecting, you know, what's going to be the fallout, what's going on, and, you know, why did S.H.I.E.L.D. attack Maddox and what happened. This might be obvious, it might not be obvious, but I was thinking about this more today as to when this actually happened, why S.H.I.E.L.D. was attacking Maddox, what is actually going on with Maddox and the S.H.I.E.L.D. in this situation. And I think what happened is this.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, whenever Maddox was trying to, on air, get the attention of Heyman and Punk, Heyman for a couple of weeks shoot him away, and then, you know, 1 week he finally said, hey, come with me.
Right.
That is when this happened.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when he said, come with me, and they started to talk okay, yeah, we're going to be, you know, buddies again. And it's I got you in this back room, turn off the camera. Okay, right. Look, we're not buddies.
Right.
We hired you, we used you, we're done using you. You need to shut your mouth and quit trying to get more from us. The S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't do this. The S.H.I.E.L.D.'s better than you. We upgraded from you to the S.H.I.E.L.D. That's when the S.H.I.E.L.D. came out and said, hey, you need to keep your mouth shut. So what I think is a better question coming out of this isn't, oh, was Punk in on this, whatever. That's a question, but I think what a better question is, what is Maddox going to do now? Because apparently, the person that this footage came from was Maddox's little cameraman guy that was always following him around. So, I know it's obvious, but what is Maddox's sentiment right now? Why did he leak this? Is he turning on Heyman? Is he going to be a face now? Did he get a contract because he gave this to Vince? Has he seen the error of his ways of being in cahoots with Heyman? Or is it just the cameraman that just gave it up and Brad Maddox is still involved with the S.H.I.E.L.D. and involved with this and that despite getting beat up? And it's oh, I got beat up, I'm sorry, I'm still in the gang? Or is it you guys beat me up, screw you, I'm outing you guys?
I think it's more like that.
I hope so, but it's still a question, and I think it's another interesting plot point that some people are overlooking, you know?
Right, because, this footage happened, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Or last week? Was it last week?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. The last time we saw Maddox, whatever.
Yeah.
Maddox.
Yeah, they need to decide on how to pronounce his full name.
So, there's the question with that, and, you know, Punk, because Punk has always said, and he's so good at, you know, conveying what he believes, is he never had anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. And we said that before. I think that was something we came up with, that we were thinking that maybe Heyman was...
Yeah, I think you mentioned
going back behind his back. Heyman's the mastermind, you know, pulling on the strings, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe that.
Well, I mean, you kind of believe that, and it's a possibility, but I think they could also go... they could go either route. They could go with Punk knowing. They could go with Punk not knowing. I don't know. Another thing that came out of this is, of course, Brock Lesnar. I almost said Brock Lesnar. But yeah, Brock Lesnar coming out. And what I thought was interesting about this is Heyman was trying to tell him not to do it.
Yeah.
Was that Heyman, again, being deceiving George Costanza Heyman and he planned that? Or was he really trying to say, Brock, what the hell are you doing? No. I mean, what's happening with that plot point?
I don't know, but I like Nervous Wreck Paul Heyman.
Oh, yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yes, he is.
Vince, please. Vince, get out of the ring. Please, Vince. Just leave. Brock,
don't do it.
What are you doing?
Brock, what are you doing? What are you doing, Brock? Shut up,
I cannot
Heyman.
stop laughing when Heyman is going off like that.
Yeah, that was great. And
he's because he's more of a George Costanza character like that.
Yeah, he is. Another big question that's coming out of this is, how does Lesnar fit into this whole thing? I mean, why
bring him in now?
Well, not so much why bring him in now, but as far as storyline wise, why is he standing up for Heyman? Why did he not let Heyman get fired by Vince? Why interrupt at that point? Yeah. Why does he care whether or not Heyman is still around? Why is he around? Is he still under Heyman's payroll? Is he not? Is he, contracted? And now here's a stupid point, a point that I don't like. Just because Lesnar F5s you right before you say the words, "You're fired," doesn't mean you can't still fire somebody anyway.
Right.
Well,
that's a wrestling tradition.
Well, I know it's a wrestling tradition, but I mean, there were so many good things about this storyline, and that's that one little detail that's kind of nagging at me. It's like, okay, you just F5 Vince, but that doesn't mean Vince can't freaking fire, Heyman anyway.
I was reading something on I think it was a Torch, about, does everything happen, does all business operations only go on Monday from,
from 7 to 10?
7 to 10?
Probably. I
mean,
if
you run out of, if your time runs out after, 10 o'clock on Monday, do you have to wait till next Monday before you finish your business?
Yeah, maybe.
It's like they went off the air and it's like, damn, Vince was like, damn, I gotta wait till next Monday to fire him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, with all the technology out there with the app and, the Twitter and whatnot, he could just fire him over tout. Send out a 15-second, "You're fired, Paul Heyman," like that's it. I mean,
but normally in wrestling storylines, before you're about to fire somebody or do something to get rid of, someone else comes out and attacks that person. Yeah. That kind of diverts their attention off them and moves it on them.
Yeah, but why?
But he's still the CEO. He can still fire whoever he wants.
Why would he not fire Heyman now?
Exactly.
It's like, not only were you going to fire him already for doing all this deceitful shit, you also got F5'd. You would want to fire him more so.
Yeah.
So why, and again, why does that stop him
from firing him? That's when we went off the air.
Yeah, that's
so
when we went off the air.
You never know what's going to happen.
And we found out that Vince now has a broken pelvis. I think that this is a kayfabe injury. I'm pretty sure it is.
Although at his age.
Yeah, his age, you never know.
Brock broke his ass.
Yeah, he broke his ass. Slap that on the back of a t-shirt. I'll break your ass. But,
Lesnar 316.
Lesnar 316. Book it now. But, now with his pelvis broke, now with his ass being broke.
Yeah.
I guess this definitely sets up Triple H versus Brock. I mean, that would be... Presumably. I mean, maybe that's the reason why they're not going to get fired. It's like, don't fire him. Triple H come out. Don't fire him, Pop. I want to kick his ass. And that way they'll still be around.
Well, this is Triple H. He wanted to have a fight other than getting sued. So
he'd rather fight than get sued.
Yeah, so he would...
Whatever happened with that lawsuit? That's another example of storylines that, kind of just fell off.
Yeah.
I mean... We talk so much about this storyline.
Well, I mean, they had a fight. They had the match. So that resolved both lawsuits.
That resolved the lawsuits? Just the fact that they had a fight?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the storyline part of that.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, I think now we're going to see Triple H Lesnar 2.
We'll wait and see, but more than likely, yeah, that's
okay.
going to happen. You know,
unless they go with this whole thing about Punk finding out that all this is going on behind his back, and now Punk's mad at Heyman, and Heyman's like, well, if you want to get to me, you got to go through Brock, and that sets up Punk versus Brock, which I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No, that was another situation we kind of came up with that is kind of similar to that, where before Punk was kind of going off loose end, and Heyman was like freaking out at him doing stuff. And we're thinking, okay, Punk's going to keep disobeying Heyman, and Heyman's going to get pissed off, and he's going to bring in Brock to kind of put Punk in his place. I remember we said that at one point, but that was earlier on during when Heyman first came in.
Yeah.
But what I was hoping to see at the end of Raw, this is kind of my fantasy end of Raw here, was Lesnar. Okay. I did see Lesnar coming out. I was saying, okay, I could see Lesnar coming out and do something. Right before he got fired, or was going to get fired. I said, okay, it's probably Lesnar or somebody come out. His music hit, Lesnar walking down, he's getting to the ring. What I wanted to see after that is he just stands there in the ring, that doesn't do anything, and then Shield's music plays, and then Shield comes down, and then they kind of go around, they kind of stand around in a circle, and then Punk's music plays, and then Punk comes out. So you got Punk, Shield, Lesnar with Heyman all in the ring, all around McMahon. And then let the beatings commence, I guess.
You want to see all five of them beat up
or something to that extent,
He would have more than a broke pelvis if that happened.
But, something to that extent. But I was kind of hoping to see, like, all of them come out.
You want to see the whole stable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, man, they could go so many different directions with this. And this is where the unpredictability is, and this is where I like it, okay? Right. Another thing that they could do is, again, bringing in Brad Maddox, and if you look at it this... Maddox, whatever. If you look at it this way, you have Punk, the main eventer.
Right.
You have Maddox, the, lower mid-card guy. You have the tag team, Shield. Yes, I know there's 3 of them, whatever. They're a tag team. And you have the enforcer, Brock Lesnar. And then you have the guy who's in charge of it all, Heyman.
That's a stable.
That's a stable. That's like an old school paint by numbers stable right there. The main event, the lower mid card, the tag team, and then the enforcer.
But my problem, I agree with that to the extent Lesnar's not going to play enforcer when he could be the main event guy.
That's true. That's where there could be some interestingness going on in there, and of course,
some bickering, going back and forth.
Where the augmentation of the original formula is, and again, there with the Shield, they're not just a tag team. There's a trio of them, so that's another little augmentation of the formula. But still, it's kind of following that same old school stable formula. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Cena, Punk, Rock, Brock, Shield, Heyman. Are we done with all that for now?
Man, we can go on for hours on this apparently, but
yeah, apparently.
Yeah. But I think right now I think this is a wait and see.
That's enough to say for this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Still got a lot more stuff to go through. Let's talk about Jericho.
You scared off the rest of the listeners.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. No, well, hopefully this is engaging enough, because, hey, this was, like, some really entertaining stuff and interesting and controversial stuff going on this week. So, Anyway, let's move on to another good of Raw. Jericho.
Yes.
Jericho was not a one-off in the Royal Rumble. He is back, and presumably he's having a feud with Mr. Ziggler.
Right.
I approve of this a lot. And here's why.
Do tell.
Ziggler is on his way up.
Very slowly.
Very slowly, and that's why I approve of this. Ziggler's on his way up, but there's so little talent up at the top that there's nobody that's there right now that's a veteran that can lay down for him and put him over and that be a step up.
That's a good point.
I mean, because you can't have Cena job out to him anymore.
Apparently.
I mean...
What do you mean anymore?
Well, because, I mean, it was the one time at TLC. Because you gotta build up his stock so that he can, fight The Rock. And you can't do that with Punk because, Punk's gotta be on top. And, I mean, who else are you gonna put in front of, well, I guess Orton, but, I mean, who else are you gonna put in front of Ziggler to get him over into that main event status?
I see what you're saying.
So why not bring in Jericho? Jericho has been laying down for so many people, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, but
that's that's his role now.
That's his role. He is
putting people over.
Yeah, getting people over. I was about to say enhancement talent, but
no.
I wouldn't say, but he's kind of a main event enhancement talent. I don't know. I can see him. I can see them having a fight at Mania. Jericho laying down for Ziggler. Boom, Ziggler is solidified.
Yeah.
I think that's where this is going. And it's not hurting any of the other non-part-time top stars.
Yeah. Real quick about Ziggler.
Okay.
Where do you see him going between now and Mania with the Money in the Bank? I have a couple of ideas. But...
I don't think he's going to do anything with the Money in the Bank. I think he's going to hold on to it till after Mania.
You can't.
Yeah, he can. The contract is good for 1 full year. And he didn't win it at Mania.
Oh, okay.
He won it at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which is in July? Or June?
The one at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, that's good for a year, right?
Yeah, it's good for a year.
Right.
Was that in June or July?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. So it's still good all the way through Mania, basically. So yeah, I don't think he'll cash in. I think he'll work a program with Jericho, and Jericho will put him over to make him more legitimate as a top star, and then he'll cash in his Money in the Bank and be the main eventer for the World Heavyweight title. That's what I think.
That's kind of why I wanted him to win the Rumble.
So that he would have insurance?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted it too, man. But, I mean...
But not getting that again. But
yeah, let's not go back into that.
If him, had he won the Rumble, going into... Say he won the Rumble and he picked the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
He goes into Mania, he wins the title at Mania, and then that same night later on, the World Heavyweight title match goes on. After that match, he goes in there and cashes out. Bam.
New undisputed champion, unified champion.
Yeah.
That would have been ridiculous.
And, that was another thing. I actually, one of the message boards I saw this, that someone was saying, well, one thing he could do is cash in at Mania, steal on the show.
Yeah.
The biggest show, of the year. So,
I mean, that's a possibility.
Because no one's done it yet. No one has cashed in at Mania.
And that's a very strong possibility. I think that can happen, but I don't think that's what is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not my prediction. Your prediction can be different and valid. And, I'll say, okay, that's a good prediction. Either one of those can happen.
So what's your prediction?
My prediction is he's going to just work a program with Jericho and hold on to the Money in the Bank all the way through WrestleMania.
I don't know, man. That briefcase is looking pretty rough. I don't know if it can last.
That briefcase is on its last leg, man. That briefcase is effed up.
It's pretty hard, man.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh, but yeah, real quick about Jericho.
I
don't know if you're seeing this or not, but as far as, him being back with WWE, he has taken a little break from the Fozzy tour.
Yeah.
He's going back. There's like one little stretch of tours, dates he's doing. It's like at the end of February.
Yeah.
Beginning of March. But other than that, after that, he's going back on tour the week after Mania. Okay. So he's pretty much available, with the exception of a few weeks. But
okay.
So he's not just going to be like one or two, shows.
All right.
Did you see his new T-shirt?
Yes, I did see his new T-shirt. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm usually not one to really like shirts with the picture of the wrestler on it, the wrestler himself. I'm more of like a logo and catchphrases kind of guy.
Well, that's more of his logo, is his silhouette.
Yeah, but I mean, it's his silhouette, so I'm kind of about it, but it still looks cool.
Yeah.
I still like it.
It's better than the last piece of shit shirt he had. Was it B something, and he had a little picture of a bee?
Oh, yeah. The wannabe.
Wannabe, that's
what
it,
it was. Yeah, no, that was stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, another good that we could get to for Raw was the Hall of Fame announcement. Trish Stratus.
Kind of surprising there, yeah.
That was freaking awesome. I'm so happy about that. I really, really like Trish Stratus. And your wife, Nancy, she's one of the biggest Trish Stratus fans that I know that's out there. One of the few people I know that actually has the Trish Stratus shirt. I don't know. Nancy, what do you think about that?
I definitely approve. I think she's definitely one of the best female wrestlers ever. And one of the things that was really good for her was the time that her and Lita got to actually main event Raw. So that was really big.
That was a different time back then.
Yeah.
That was.
Good
and they
times.
care about women
Good times.
in
Yeah.
the business.
Would you say that would be like your favorite?
That'd be one of
Trish
my
Stratus
favorite. Yeah,
moments?
one of my favorite moments. And of
Yeah.
course, her first title win and then her last title win are also some of my favorites.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You're also doing her little stratosphere yoga stuff, huh?
Yeah, her Trish Stratus, the
Yeah.
yoga.
How's that coming
Baby.
along?
That's coming along good. I'm almost done.
Yeah? Is it, feeling good and stretched out and whatnot? The
Yeah,
yoga's working for
it
you?
definitely helps. I have problems with my shoulder, and when I do it, it helps it. So
Well, that's cool. Awesome. So, yeah, there you go. She's still doing good stuff out there, even
And
though she's not wrestling,
Trish has actually tweeted with Nancy
Oh, yeah?
a couple of times
Yeah.
when she was talking about her doing the yoga thing.
yeah.
Well, that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
Well, there you go. Yay, Trish. That was definitely a good on Raw, and so far this Hall of Fame class is really shaping up to be pretty good.
Do you think, real quick about that Trish Stratus induction, do you think it's too soon?
No.
No?
I mean,
She's
hell,
been retired since 2006. So
Yeah. I don't think it's too soon. I mean, hell, we had Edge retired within the same year, so.
Yeah. Okay.
And I wasn't mad at Edge because it's Edge.
And
So-
because it's usually, retire, it's after you retire, you're not going to come back. That's when you get into the whole thing. So, okay. All right.
Yeah, so I approve.
Okay.
All right. I think that's all of the goods from Raw. Like I said, Raw was awesome and Raw was terrible.
Let's get into
So-
some of the terrible stuff.
Well, yeah. Let's get into the bads. We had one really big bad with Alberto Del Rio and the Big Show.
Your homeboy?
Yes, mi amigo.
Yeah.
See, what can I say about this? This was pretty ridiculous. This was not a. This wasn't pretty, man. I think because it just went a little bit too long. I understand the psychology behind it, and I
They're
understand
making Big Show, they're making Big Show.
Big Show getting his revenge,
Yeah.
and him trying to kind of follow Punk's lead and just be, I'm so angry that I lost this match, brrr, and just coming out and beating up and, giving Del Rio a taste of his own medicine over here, and then torturing him by beating up Ricardo right in front of him. I get it, and that was good, but the segment just went on for
It
too
did,
long.
yeah. It's like, we get it. You're mad. You're beating him up. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, come on, whoop his ass, get over with.
And, okay, the duct tape. First of all, where was Big Show hiding that roll of duct tape? Because did you see he dug back there in his tight for a little bit and he had to pull that out of nowhere. I'm kind of afraid that
Well, he is a Big Show, so he's got a lot of room.
lot of storage space back there.
He's got a lot of storage space.
Okay, so
He's got a whole Office Depot shoved
Oh,
up there.
Jesus, okay.
Hey, Big Show, can I get an autograph? Oh man, I forgot a pen. Don't worry about it, fella. There it is.
that is disgusting.
That's
Okay.
very disgusting.
Okay, so he busted out the stinky roll of duct tape,
Stinky roll of duct tape.
and he proceeds to wrap up Del Rio's hand, one hand, not both hands, but one hand on the ropes
Right,
to kind of play back what happened to him at the pay-per-view.
right.
And then he beats the holy living shit out of Ricardo several times.
Yes.
This whole time, did Del Rio not think to just, I don't know, use his other hand to
Try to
unwrap the tape from his hand?
I don't know why that didn't. I don't know. I mean, the same argument could have been said in the Rumble for Big Show to start untaping his legs.
That was, if you're going to go that route, that was totally different.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, when he was getting tied up, he had the armbar on him, and he just pinned him right after. Or no, he didn't pin him, but he couldn't reach over there and do all that.
Because he can't do a sit-up?
Yeah. Have you seen him do a sit-up?
No, I haven't, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
it is. I don't know. I mean, this type of stuff always happens, so
Okay,
whatever.
but getting into that, you were telling me earlier that people were complaining about this segment.
As if the IWC wasn't already pissed off enough this week. The Twitter world and whatnot just went ablaze, saying, "This is the perfect time for Dolph to cash in. Why isn't Dolph cashing in? Del Rio's just knocked out, unconscious. Rabble, rabble, rabble."
I actually saw that tweet where they said rabble, rabble, rabble.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that one.
I don't know, man. I really thought that this wasn't a good spot for
No, it
Ziggler
wasn't.
to do it,
It
because
wasn't.
there was a couple of us that were thinking that, and were tweeting that, and that, yeah, Del Rio's knocked out, but in order for a match to start, like, let's say he were to go and cash in order for the match to start, they would have had to have Del Rio in a pinning position. Because it's not like he could have just went out there, cashed in, and pinned him, because that would have been an obvious rope break. His hand is tied to the rope. That's a rope break, Chief.
Right.
So it's like, well, okay, they'll have to, detach him from the rope. Well, in the time that it'll probably take for somebody to go out there and detach him,
Or
Del
just
Rio,
unwrap the tape.
or unwrap, whatever, the time that would take, Del Rio would come to.
Right.
And then once he comes to, well, now it's not a heel just sneaking in and picking up the scraps. It's like, oh crap, now I have to actually have a match, and I don't think it would have worked.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank winner, can they add stipulations to the match?
No. It's just historically, no, I've never seen that happen before.
I just wonder if that's a little caveat to that. If you could just...
I think it's just a one-on-one match for the title.
Because if that's the case, he could have ran out there real quick and says, I want a last man standing match with Del Rio.
Yeah, I guess it could have, but no, I think if they added that to the Money in the Bank, now it would be really overpowered. Like, no, there's no way they'll add that. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already a freaking overpowered thing as it is.
Yeah.
It's like you could have.
I just never knew. This never come up.
Yeah. I don't think that's in that.
Because mainly
contract.
they just kind of run out and just, I want to cash in now.
Yeah.
There's no need to have a stipulation or anything.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's true though. So, okay, well that's it for the bad. Let's get to the ugly.
Which part of it?
Well, there's a couple of uglies. Well, a lot of uglies, actually. Let's get to the first one here. Karaoke with Khali. Oh, boy. No, that doesn't work. I mean, I already don't like Khali. And you're gonna have him attempt to sing, and he already has a speech impediment, and you're gonna have him try to sing Shawn Michaels music. Come on, man. WTF. Hey, WTF moment of the week. There we go.
There you go. I'm not gonna lie. He started singing. I started fast forwarding.
You know what? You didn't miss anything. I think,
know.
3MB came out, and then they tried to do something, and they got their ass whooped, and no, we don't know who actually won the karaoke contest.
Do you care?
I don't care, but I just wanted to throw that out there. We don't know who won the karaoke contest. We didn't really have the actual body slam challenge actually finish. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, there was a lot of unresolved matches on Raw. That was kind of stupid.
Are you getting into like the actual Raw Roulette itself?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like the Raw Roulette?
No.
As a gimmick?
No, I mean, maybe. I mean, they just do it once a year, so it's not that bad, and sometimes it'll lead for some funny things, but...
I don't know if this was the right show to do this on. I know they're in Vegas, whatever, but right after Rumble, and you had all this shit going on with Punk and Rock, and, this is the fallout of the pay-per-view, really.
Yeah, it was
like a weird placement for this show.
Yeah, I think this Raw already had enough going on that it didn't need to have this extra hokey stuff. And that's what made for the very strange dichotomy of this Raw. Like, parts of it were awesome, parts of it were terrible. And most of the terrible stuff came from that freaking wheel. Or the 3 wheels, because there was 3 different wheels now. And,
They've never done that one before. The Superstar one?
Yeah. I don't think they even used that, did they?
Yeah, that was the one where Cody Rhodes, he got...
Oh, and he got Cena, that's right. Okay.
Hey, real quick. What would have happened if it landed on Cody Rhodes?
Then it'd be a mirror match. Cody Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes. One would come out with blue and white tights, the other one would come out with white and blue tights.
One would have a mustache, one wouldn't have a mustache?
Yes, that's what would happen. Come on, man, you play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to another ugly. Tensai.
Doesn't get much uglier than that.
Oh no, that was very ugly. WTF, man.
WTF of the week?
Possibly, yes. Yeah. Let's go ahead and say WTF moment of the week. Tensai. That was great. I love the way how Funkasaurus basically pulled that off and just trolled him. It's like, don't worry, Vicky. I'll tell him it's not a lingerie match anymore. I'll let him know. And then, he didn't let him know.
My bad.
That was some great trolling. That was awesome that he did that. And there was a lot of people that were, again, on Twitter, on the internet, oh, this is horrible, this is such a waste, this is blah, blah, blah. I understand comedy wrestling, but why not have Santino do something or blah, 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 this and that. Like, dude, shut up. This was hilarious. And there's a reason why this isn't in the bad category and it's in the ugly category. It was ugly, but I was laughing my butt off. Like, I thought it was just... I liked it, but like I didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like
it's like a bad cross-dressed train wreck you don't want to watch, but you can't stop watching.
Yeah,
and I started laughing as soon as Jerry Lawler started busting out laughing.
Yeah,
because he couldn't hold it anymore.
Yeah.
I think it was the spot where Tensai turned around, he had to pull the laundry out of his butt.
Yeah, he had a bit of a wedgie.
Yeah, Lawler and Brodus started laughing, and I was like, okay, that's it. They're losing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just, I guess good times, but it was harmless fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for, well, this harm because it just killed Tensai's character, but...
Well, but Tensai's character was already DOA to start with, so...
This is true.
Yeah. Actually, I think this improved Tensai's character. It improved his stock.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's been doing nothing. Now at least he's doing something. People are talking about the guy. It's like, oh yeah, that's the guy who did, the groceries. Yeah. People are talking about him now. Tuesday morning, people are talking about Tensai.
Well, I don't know, that's the right kind of direction
I didn't say that.
In his career, but...
Well, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It seems as though, from all the stuff that we have been talking about for Raw, we're kind of at the end of my notes of things that we wanted to say.
Okay.
Overall, closing thoughts on Raw and Royal Rumble.
I'm happy.
Okay.
With everything.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not pissed off about anything.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't fully say that. I mean, I'm irked,
I wish a couple of things had been different, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm not as passionate as I used to be, or...
Maybe. I don't know. I understand, man. Like, I get it. I understand why. But there's the side of me that, the fan side of me was like, jeez, I really don't want to see this stuff with Cena and Rock. I just don't want to see it. But I'll allow it, and I'm okay with it happening. So there's this strange mix of emotions going on inside me. I wouldn't say that I'm 100% happy with it, but in the end, I'm not going to boycott WWE and not watch and all this and that. Like, all these overreactions, I'm not going to kick over a bunch of Blu-rays and slam my door on my girlfriend and, all that kind of crazy stuff. I'm not going to go all crazy like that. But I'm still going to watch. I still like WWE, and just because I don't like Cena, that doesn't really mean a whole lot.
You're still going to watch WrestleMania.
Still going to watch WrestleMania, of course, and maybe Cena and Rock will have a good show. I mean, hell, I hate Jeff Hardy, but I'll watch stuff with Jeff Hardy, and I'll even give Jeff Hardy Match of the Week candidates.
But, and we said that it's predictable and, it's the go-to, but what about this? And I can't remember where I saw this at, but has anybody thought Rock versus Cena versus Punk?
You know what? That is a thought that was circling around the internet. Not a whole lot of people were thinking it, but it was a small contingent. People were thinking that could happen.
What does it be a one-on-one match?
And if that's the case, dude, kudos. Like, way to give everybody a little something that everybody wanted. And I think that's great, because, I mean, Rock will still have the title, so he'll still be running around Hollywood. The Cena kids will be happy because Cena will still get in the match. All the Punk marks will be, happy because Punk will be in there.
And you know what's going to happen if that happens?
Oh.
Cena will end up winning the title.
Yeah.
That way, he's gotten his payback on Rock.
And Punk.
And he's beaten Punk.
Yeah.
Because, like in that promo we said.
Which I'm happy with. I'm happy with Punk not being the title holder. I'm happy with that. We said that last week, so it's okay. I just don't want to see twice in a lifetime. That's it.
You're so...
I just don't want to see that match.
You're so specific on that.
I know. That's what I'm so specific on. But okay, looking ahead to Elimination Chamber, one thing that happened with Punk and Rock, they're gonna have a rematch for the title. Does that mean that there's not going to be an Elimination Chamber match?
The rumors that I'm hearing so far is just one chamber match.
And it's just for the World Heavyweight title.
We'll find that out on SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm totally cool with that, but...
Although, they could do something for Raw. They haven't done it on TV, but oddly enough, it is an option on all the video games there, where you can do a tag team elimination chamber match.
Ooh.
I'm thinking Shield versus Ryback. Who's been helping out Ryback?
Ryback, Sheamus, and Orton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless Sheamus is involved in the World Heavyweight Chamber match.
Yeah. He probably will be.
So
Mike Orton. You know what? Shield versus 3MB.
No.
6-on-6.
No,
3-on-3.
I'm not even supporting that.
Yeah.
No, but so that could be a possibility.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we'll have to save that the closer we get to Elimination Chamber.
Real quick, before we finish up here on the talk on this, one thing that I did really enjoy about the Rumble pay-per-view that we didn't discuss earlier was the throwback old school superstar thoughts.
The promo before, just like the one you had posted last week.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, oh, let's get some thoughts from some of the competitors. It was like, oh my god, that's exactly like the one you
I was so happy to see that.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, do they know that I watch it?
Yeah, dude, they listen to our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see more, but just the fact that he did it, oh man, I was so happy to see that.
Yeah.
And that was another reason I said, I'm happy with everything. You know, whatever, you know.
Let's be done. Let's be done. We're done with WWE talk. Okay. Let's quickly just go over the other wrestling show that happened this past week, Impact.
Do what?
Yeah, Impact. You know TNA? They have a show that they play.
Oh!
Yeah, every week, every Thursday.
That show with NWO, right?
Yeah, well, kind of NWO.
Oh, okay.
Aces and Eights.
The what?
Aces and Eights?
The who?
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. They're a bunch of who's and nobodies. No.
Oh. The one that's got Mike Knox in it.
Yeah, yes, Mike
Knox.
Knox.
Yes!
That one. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And now Taz.
The who?
Taz.
Oh, Taz.
The human suplex machine. Black and orange. The mood's about to change. Survive if I let you.
You mean the color commentator?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Quit goofing around. All right. Last week you said that you hope Taz doesn't turn into the Aces and Eights version of Eric Bischoff in the NWO.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, they too, you know, like WWE, they listen to our show.
Uh-huh.
And as opposed to WWE that listen to us, TNA doesn't. And they do the opposite of what we say.
Right.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not too positive. And, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but when he first got back in the commentator booth, he was like...
Yeah, he was laying it on thick.
Yeah.
But then as the night went on, it wasn't as thick.
I just hate the 180 change, like all of a sudden, you hate this guy, and he doesn't want to talk to Tanae
Well,
anymore.
I think they called him out on that when Daniels was like in the ring and he's like, yeah, I like these guys. Yeah, talking about Daniels and Sarian, talking about bad influence. Yeah, man, these guys, you know, what? It's like, last week you were saying that they were idiots. Like, oh, well, I didn't say that or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's... Ugh. And, well, the one thing that came out of that whole thing with Taz in the promo at the beginning of that was surprisingly, it actually advanced the Ace and Eight storyline.
Yeah.
It only took him 6 months.
Right.
But they finally did something with it. They mentioned there's a higher power now.
Yeah.
And, you know, a couple of things, I think, but...
So, is Aces and Eights a cult now instead of a biker gang? Because the way Taz was talking, it made it sound like a cult. You know, with the higher power and...
Aren't biker gangs cults?
No, they're gangs. It's different. I don't know. I don't like the fact that they've changed directions so many times with Aces and Eights, and it feels like they're doing a lot of hotshot.
Now it's like you don't even care anymore, right?
It's not that I don't care. It's just that it seems like there's more hotshot booking with it. You know, that they're trying to just keep it alive, but go in different directions. And
I just don't like the... if they're going to be bringing in more, like, TNA guys to join the NWO,
Aces and Eights, yeah.
I keep doing that. I don't like the 180 change in their attitude all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, Taz. Anderson, he's like that, but I kind of understand his.
Yeah.
Because he kind of has a valid point for joining them.
Yeah.
And that you could say that the excellence is good, you know, went back and they explained, hey, well, you didn't save me when I was getting my ass whooped by Ace and Eights.
But Taz doesn't have that.
Exactly. That's
Taz is like, I like what they had to offer. Like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It
makes sense. Okay.
Whatever.
Let's talk about something good from Impact.
You mean Velvet Sky's outfit?
Well, okay, aside from Velvet Sky's outfit. Yeah,
you know Taz is heel now because he didn't comment about a pigeon.
Yeah, actually, that was another little WTF moment, when Jesse and Tara backstage, I don't know, something about that she likes dead pigeons.
Yeah.
Like, that was great! Like, WTF, what are you talking about, dead pigeons?
Actually, yeah, he made me laugh on that one, so kudos to him.
Kudos to Jesse. Good job, Jesse. Like, yeah, she likes dead pigeons. Alright. But no, there's something other than Velvet's outfit. Daniels versus Hardy.
Is that another match that Hardy's been in that you're saying that you like?
Yes! I don't get it, man!
And Austin Aries was in this one.
Yeah, I know, but, well, Daniels...
I don't even know what this means.
Well, no, Daniels was in it, so...
No, there's a pattern here.
Okay, maybe there is a pattern.
What's the pattern? I want to hear you say it.
That maybe Hardy has good matches? What?
Interesting.
What? Interesting.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Maybe Hardy has good matches.
Maybe.
Okay. So, I thought that was a good match. And, I think it's worthy of being deemed a match of the week candidate.
I saw you wearing a Hardy shirt the other day.
No, I wasn't. Shut up. Don't believe his damn dirty lies, listeners.
Denial is the first stage, my friend.
Oh, yes. I'm going to take a page out of Heyman's book and just deny.
If I see you come in here doing the show with face paint,
I'm going to paint eyeballs on my eyelids.
Your glasses. Your eyeballs on your glasses.
Alright. That's a match of the week candidate. Okay?
Alright.
We also said that Punk vs. Rock is a match of the week candidate. There's another one that we didn't really get to talk about, again, from WWE programming. Sheamus vs. Sandow in the tables match. I think that's another good match of the week candidate. That
is okay. I mean, the big spot, the running white noise to the table.
Yeah.
Spot of the week, I guess. I don't know about match of the week, but...
Okay. Well, what would you say is match of the week? Punk Rock?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah.
I guess we're in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Ta-da. I think that's it for our, big time wrestling talk. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of indies and, what's going on here in the indies. In ROW, last week they posted the show on the YouTube, and it did have the match that we were talking about with Kid Ransom versus Jared Steele with the spinebuster off of the top rope. Mm-hmm. It was more,
Top rope?
Well, it was more like the middle turnbuckle. They were seated on the top, so...
Still counts.
It still counts as off of the top rope. But, I mean, either way, it's still sick, and I've never seen that before. So, that was an awesome move. And the match itself was pretty good, too, the rest of the match. So, definitely go take a look at that. It is up online, and they should be uploading another episode this week, either on Wednesday or Thursday. Make sure you check that out. Now, we had mentioned last week on the show that CWF was having a show, and we thought, maybe somebody was going to get to go, or one of us was, but turns out, that didn't really happen. We didn't get to go.
Yeah, we had some, you had some things going on this weekend, I had some things going on, we just couldn't get out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but if anybody did go to that, send us some info on it, let us know, some reports, see how it went, and maybe we'll post it up there. One
thing that I did hear from that is that Steve DeMarco, who does a lot of the indie circuit stuff around here, I mean, he wrestles ROW sometimes, and he's the Texas All-Star Wrestling champ.
Well, he's on the newest episode that's up on ROW.
Yeah, he is on the newest episode, yeah. Him versus Abel Andrew Jackson. He won the CWF title. Mm-hmm. So now he is both the CWF title holder as well as the Texas All-Star Wrestling title holder. So he's a dual champion, so... Yay, good job to Marco. So, yeah, that's the only thing that I really heard from that event. So, like you said, if anybody else has any other reports, let us know. Now, here's something interesting that's going on. There's something else coming up called the XWA, the Extreme Wrestling Alliance, and they're having their first show here pretty soon. It's going to be on February the 16th. That's a Saturday night. And it is going to be at 8720 Airline in Houston, Texas. Okay. It's going to be at a flea market that's on Airline. I've never been out that way to that flea market. I don't think. Maybe I have when I was younger, and I just don't remember. But I do know that area. That's kind of like the southeast side of Houston. Right. The big thing going on with that is they are going to have Robbie E. from TNA show up at that show. So that's going to be pretty cool,
Robbie E. from TNA?
Yeah, Robbie E. from TNA. They're on the list, bro. And they're also going to have a superstar from AAA. They're going to have the Laredo Kid.
How do you say that for white people?
AAA.
Oh, okay.
AAA. Yeah. I don't really follow AAA all that much, so I don't really know a whole lot about who's in AAA and who other wrestlers are.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, anything for AAA. Yeah. So I don't really know anything about this guy Laredo Kid, but that's just me and my own ignorance. But anybody else out there that does follow, AAA, they should know this guy. So that's already 2, named wrestlers that they're going to have there at their debut show. So that might be something you might want to check out. Also, they are advertising that they're going to have one of our ROW guys that we normally see here, Cristiano, Hayden Cristiano.
Okay.
He's going to be working that event. And then, of course, there's also other local indie wrestlers that are going to be working that event too. So that might be something that's worth checking out. And, of course, we're still excited for Doomsday. That's coming up March. I talked about it last week, and hopefully maybe we could get some more info. Maybe we could talk to somebody on the show about that and see if we could get some more buzz going for that show, because I really, really am excited for Doomsday, man. That's going to be some good stuff. Now, big news from the week. Wrestling with Subtitles during Raw last night hit 15,000 signatures on their petition.
15,000?
Or 1,500. I'm sorry, 15,000. Wow.
That would
have really been something. It was 15,000. Yeah. No, 1,500. And Max went ahead and closed the petition, and he is getting ready to go ahead and print all that off and send it out to the big 3. ROH, TNA, and WWE. Show them all the signatures that were on the petition, and see if they could get some attention, from Dixie and Vince and whatnot, and see if we could get this rolling a little bit more for them to get subtitles put on, wrestling DVDs. As well as that, Max is also trying to start up his own company to actually do that, to allow wrestling companies to contact him so that he can do the subtitling for the wrestling DVDs for him. So not only is he trying to actually raise the awareness and try to get people to understand that this is, a cause that needs to be known, but he's also saying, hey, I can also provide the solution too. So I think that's kind of like the next step that he's kind of starting to get into now. So I look forward to maybe, talking to him again here pretty soon, when things start settling down for him, and once he sends off all this stuff. So, way to go, Max, man. Congratulations hitting, doing that part of the thing and closing that off, man. That's some awesome stuff.
Yeah, good work, man.
All right. Wow, this has been one heck of a long episode.
And thanks if you're still listening to us.
Yes, thank you. I think that's going to be about it for this week. We're on the road to WrestleMania, man. Hopefully we can start having quality wrestling like this every week,
Right.
Well, now you're reneging on all this, saying that you're not happy?
No, I'm enjoying everything.
Okay, well, you don't think it's quality?
You people.
What do you mean, you people?
Marks.
Like you're not a mark. I'm just saying, you reach.
This. I don't want that.
Well, it's true. I don't want it, but I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to whine and bitch about it like some other people.
You're whining and bitching about it.
You could be. You could be a mark about it, but I mean, there's a certain level of mark maturity, that's out there.
Is that your word of the week?
Yeah, mark maturity. That's something I coined last night on Twitter.
And define mark maturity.
Mark maturity is, you want to get caught up and be a mark and get caught up in all the emotions and do and say what you want in the way that you want it. Like, you want to boo Cena. But in the end, when Cena wins, you're mature enough to realize, well, I know why Cena's winning. And I know why Rock has the title and why it's good for the business. And I understand that Cena and Punk are probably best friends backstage, and Punk probably...
You're breaking the fourth wall, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Breaking the fourth wall is a sign of maturity. Mark maturity. Hashtag mark maturity.
You need a smart.
No, not smart. Whatever. All right. That's it, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing along with us. I know it was a long episode, but there was a lot of ground to cover. Tune in next week, and hopefully we haven't scared all of you guys off. All right, man. Let's hit the music. Thanks. Y'all keep it classy. Adios, my friends.